So, hi guys, Tim here. Welcome back to the next kind of final part 3 of the British Army, pardon me, British Army personal kit, and this one will be the British Army personal kit of the Second World War. And now I have got a special guest with me doing this event, another military historian, another military collector called Toby. Do you want to call you out? Say hi.
Yes, hello everyone. So I'm Toby, and I predominantly collect Second World War field equipment and personal items of really all nations, British, German, American. So yeah, that's a bit about me, but back to the video.
Right, so if you probably can't tell, he's actually, of course, we're doing this, the COVID version, so he's kind of over a video chat, which is the best way we can do it at the time. So basically, when Toby gets onto YouTube, I will put his YouTube channel in the description. Of course, he hasn't got one at the moment, but when he does, he will. So, for starters, a lot of things from the British Army in the First World War in terms of personal kit, some changed and some didn't. Things like what I was talking about, the wash roll and the housewife's sewing kit, they still integrate that into the Second World War, so the British Army was still using those. The holdall had your essential, toothbrush, toothpaste, mirror, soap, spare bootlaces, and things like that. And now the items I've got on show here are things like, your typical. So in last video on the First World War, I showed you the kind of First World War style, about 1939 dated hoof knife, jackknife, clasp knife, really, which dates back to the 1905 pattern, which of course was used in the First World War, as of looking like this, but as I said, by 1941 they would basically change and get a bit smaller. So yeah, that's 1939 dated. There will be basically a lot of iterations between personal kit through the interwar periods in the early 1930s. It's like with this one here, this isn't British Army standard. It's like this is British Army, and so British Army issued by the British Army. A lot of these kits British Army issue, but they can class as personal gear, just like throughout the Boer War and the First World War and through the Second World War. You had, socks and mufflers and balaclavas and things like that. This is a privately purchased 1930s British civilian razor, but the British troops were carrying army issued and civilian ones as well. You had your typical standard brass and then later steel and fibre war economy versions of the brass button hook. I've already showed you basically how to use it. Kind of button goes in there and you polish it. This one is a 1917 pattern one, but this was, the type was used right through the First World War, as of the other one, and through the Second World War as well, and then will be issued with a 1955 date of kind of national service days. And also, yeah, War Department up there. And just what I forgot to say in the last two videos is, with having all their personal kit in both the Boer War and the First World War, the British Army also had things like socks and, as I said, mufflers, so balaclavas, all made from their wives or loved ones back at home and sent over in the post. Because the post during the First World War and Second World War was basically better than now. It was much quicker. And then lastly, on kind of the items that I've got here, you can see is your typical kind of, you can find them around the car boots everywhere, is your foot powder, Second World War British Army foot powder. These would come in various shapes and sizes, and the print lithograph green writing is very common for Second World War. Things like would be foot powder. Then you would get biscuit boxes, things like that. So, Toby, do you want to just kind of reiterate or talk about any others on British personal kit of World War II?
Yes, I think that would be good. So, in my personal collection, another very kind of famous thing that you do actually find a reasonable amount, less than you do, you used to rather, is the boiled sweets tin, the smaller type. Now, Tim was speaking about the lovely text on the front of those boxes, which makes them really, really good for display, actually. Anything with that text looks really nice for some reason. And they would be issued with those in the, I believe, 24-hour or 48-hour, alternatively, ration packs, which, yeah, they were just pretty much the mainstay, I would say, of the British Army kind of field rations. You had bully beef, other things like that. And the other thing I did want to reiterate a bit on kind of British stuff, it has been gone over before, but, you know, a lot of people consider, like, the German stuff much, much more advanced than the British or American, for that matter, stuff. This is just my personal opinion. I'm not so sure. I mean, certain German items were very good, but I just think the British stuff and American stuff in all was just a bit more solid. So, you know, the German stuff, it looks really good, but when you start delving into it, it's really not all that efficient. So, for instance, let's just take gas mask canister, or, you know, compared to the British gas mask bag, you know, the Germans have had to machine that, they've had to give it all of those ridges for added strength, famously seen item. But ours, you know, is a very solid, hard-wearing bit of canvas, and if anything goes wrong, well, you can just, you know, throw it away pretty much, and just replace it with a new one. Which, yeah, it's, I would say, one of the strengths of the British Army of the Second World War. But I guess that's enough from me. Please do consider giving a like and subscribe to Tim. He's a very, very knowledgeable collector, so, yeah, handing back over to you.
Oh yeah, thanks for that, Toby. Great talk. And yeah, well said. So yeah, rightly said. British personal kit is far more, what's the word, kind of advanced, and again very British as well. You can kind of, you know, tea boxes, you know, literally boxes which in the same green colour with the same green lithographing, but of course in big, basically boxes with tea on it, which would be sent out to the Far East or to wherever the British troops were in, mainly the Far East. I believe, Toby, you've got one in your collection, I think, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a few items, so, again, once my YouTube channel is up and running, I'll do some videos on my stuff as well. I have a bit like Tim, really. He has more, I would say, more British stuff, definitely more. So I've got a few nice British personal items and bits of field equipment, including the boiled sweets tin. I've also got the, you know, the really big biscuit box
Yep, yeah.
they had? I've got one of those as well, with its original content, which is an interesting find.
Yeah. And also, going back to personal kit, just like the First World War British infantrymen, you would have been given an AB or Army Book 64, basically soldiers' pay book, and personal details. Again, just it basically a what's the word, a continue on that, and of course would be issued right through kind of the early 1950s. As I said, the Holdall and the Housewife sewing kit really kind of stayed the same, but of course there were different patterns, if you class, different makes, different styles of how they were. Mirrors, of course. Mirrors would be given out, well, not personal mirrors, or British Army issued mirrors, or signallers' mirrors would be used just for shaving. What else was there? What else? In terms of personal, of course, photographs, you know, that's all very personal. Matches, British Army matches, and yeah, things like that. So really, it was kind of just think of the First World War, but just updated a bit more. Of course, a lot more First World War items were brought in from leave, or sent through. Then the Second World War, because Second World War was much more your personal kit, is personal, but it was also issued as well, just like your shavers and your clasp knife and things like that. So yeah, and then it would be kind of stay the same in the early 1950s, but really would change a lot different later on in the kind of, you know, late 50s, and when you get into kind of Borneo in the 1960s, that would definitely change to for personal kit. So that wraps up this video on Second World War British Army personal, kind of slash issued kit, but mainly personal kit of the British Army, like foot powder, clasp knife, shaving kit, cutthroat razor. Also forgot to mention a shaving brush that actually have a military issued, or you could just bring your own proper shaving kit. And just like the First World War, same with the Second World War, when your officers are inspecting kit, especially wash roll and everything, it doesn't matter if you take out the knives and forks or the shaver. On inspection, you should have them inside. So basically, if you want to chuck them away, you have to put them back for inspection, but after you can do what you like. Of course, knives and forks as well. So yeah, have you got anything to say, Toby, before the video is wrapped up?
I guess not too much, except, as I've said, just please do consider subscribing. Really, really good channel. I've been enjoying this series as much as all of you have, so yeah, it's really nice to you know, be able to partake in this series. So again, thanks for letting me, you know, speak in the video.
That's all right, Toby. And also Toby will probably be back for some more collaboration videos in the future, because I've got a lot more lined up to do with the Second World War as well. So right, yeah, has been a little quick military review on basically Second World War British Army personal kit. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one. See you in the next video. Bye.